Here's a question for all of the lawyers out there, or legal scholars. I am one of those. Perez Hilton here. And if somebody lies in their legal complaint, is that illegal? Because in his lawsuit against Taylor Swift's bestie and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, Justin Baldoni alleges that Blake Lively boldly lied. Repeatedly. But we will talk about one instance that has many ripples and proof. Justin Baldoni seemingly has a lot of evidence to back up his claims. If you remember, one of the very first stories that came out of the whole It Ends With Us drama was this one allegation that Blake Lively felt Justin Baldoni fat-shamed her. And he goes into this, explaining how that was not true. And we will get into how she lied about this repeatedly in her lawsuit against him. In Baldoni's almost 200-page complaint against Lively and Reynolds, his lawyer writes, quote, "During the pre-production phase, Lively and Reynolds raised entirely false allegations of fat-shaming against Baldoni, an accusation that, as evidence will show, was categorically false. Baldoni had been introduced to trainer Dawn, who became Baldoni's personal trainer, by Lively. Dawn directed Baldoni's preparation for the film role, including his nutrition and exercise, making special accommodations for Baldoni's back injury. Baldoni even paid to receive Dawn's meal delivery service. Privately, Baldoni reached out to Dawn as his personal trainer to ask what Lively weighed so that he could train his back muscles in preparation for a lift scene. This was important to avoid injury not only to Baldoni, who suffered from lifelong back injuries, including multiple bulging discs and chronic pain, but also to Lively if the lift could not be completed successfully and safely. Notwithstanding Lively's recent attempts to deny the existence of any such scene, the lifting scene, it was only nixed at her insistence after having been planned and rehearsed. The next morning, Baldoni was summoned to the penthouse, theirs, by Lively and greeted by Reynolds, who swore at Baldoni and accused him of fat-shaming his wife. "How dare you effing ask about my wife's weight? What's wrong with you?" The confrontation from Reynolds and Lively was so aggressive that Baldoni felt he had no choice but to offer repeated and completely unwarranted apologies for what was a good faith and reasonable question to ask of his trainer. Reynolds demanded Baldoni remove the scene entirely. Lively refused to perform the lift scene in the end, even after it was rehearsed with a stunt double. Here's where it gets extra good. In his lawsuit that was just filed, Justin Baldoni claims that Blake Lively purposefully tried to make him look even worse by purposefully lying in her lawsuit against him. His lawyer writes, "In her own complaint, Lively flat out lies about the absence of this lift scene by claiming, quote, the scene wasn't in the movie. The only reason the scene wasn't in the film is because Lively and Reynolds ensured it was taken out of the film." Accommodating Lively, Baldoni rewrote the scene with Lively, despite the fact that for creative reasons, this scene was important to him as a storyteller and director. I mean, I'm just still baffled by all of this, because as I've said repeatedly, 95% of the time, when you have a behind-the-scenes drama like this, it stays behind the scenes. And There are so many witnesses and people involved, from cast to crew, producers, people that will be a part of the trial, and eventually the truth will come out. There will be one winner. That's why I think ultimately they will just settle out of court. Or not. I don't know. It really is similar in many ways to Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, and that did make it to trial. Thoughts on the whole fat shaming of it all? Let me know what you're thinking in the comments section.